What is going on, everybody? It is Tyler here, and when you hear that rad music going on in the background, you know what time it is. That's right, let's get jumping right in to the Keyblademaster podcast. What is going on, guys? It is Tyler here, back at it again with another podcast, but I am not alone for this one as usual. I have alongside with me the first guest of the Keyblademaster podcast. That's right, Jeremy Gaines and Max. Say hey, guys.
What's up? What's up?
Hello, hello. So, everyone, now, in case you've been living under a few rocks, a movie came out recently that's, okay. I mean, I guess it's only close to breaking records, opening weekend, opening day, the works. Star Wars: The Last Jedi released this weekend, clocking in, last time I checked, 220 million opening weekend.
I thought I heard 450 mil.
Was that worldwide or?
Yeah, I think worldwide.
Oh, okay.
Domestically, it was almost 220.
Okay.
Last I checked, Sunday night. So, guys, today we're going to be talking about it. So, Jeremy, what did you think of The Last Jedi?
Before we get in too deep with it, I enjoyed The Last Jedi. I enjoyed it. It's a great film, but it has problems.
I agree.
And those problems have weakened its rating for me. And it is not better than Empire. It is not the best Star Wars film ever made. It's a great film. Cinematography was great. The acting was great. We seen some new stuff in this film. This is a good sending off for Carrie Fisher's character Leia. But this was a good film. But it has its problems, which of course we're going to get into.
Right. And Max, what was your verdict? I know you said in your review, which I will link in the description below. But what did you think of it?
Well, my rating has changed, like Jay said. My rating has changed ever since I've written that review. Because I wrote that review coming off a few hours after seeing it. I was like, all right, I'm pumped. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to write this. I feel it was great. I loved it. And then all of a sudden, it was like, oh, wait. Did I love it?
The goggles came off.
Yeah, it's like the goggles came on my bubble, and I was like, I don't know if I like this much as I thought. Like, I gave it an 8.5 strictly for the fact that for a couple reasons. One, it's a Star Wars film, and I mean, all Star Wars films are decent in some regard. And then the fact that it's some of the best action we've had on this for Star Wars, period. So I feel like because of those two reasons, and then like Jay said, the acting, the cinematography, some beautiful shots, and it opens up a few new cans that we have not opened in the Star Wars universe. But other than that, I feel like I was a little bit too fanboy when I wrote that, so it has changed ever since.
And I think the first issue we have to address is the reason why a lot of dedicated Star Wars fans didn't find the movie too appealing, and that's basically the get that out of here of the fan theories that we've gotten over the last 2 years. We had at least, two that were just shattered.
Yes.
I mean, I think the biggest one. Before we get into this, guys, full spoilers ahead. Just wanted to let you guys know about that, so be prepared. If you guys haven't seen the movie, click away now. This is your warning. We will give you a couple seconds, and they're up. Okay, so the first fan theory that was just absolutely obliterated, Rey's parentage.
Yes.
Rey's parents were literally just a couple people who didn't want her and dropped her off on the desert planet.
I will say this, Jay. You can confirm this. A couple of days before we saw it, I let Jeremy know. I call him Jay, but I let Jeremy know a couple of days before. I'm like, Jeremy, do not be surprised when you find out that Rey's parents are nothing more than a skid mark on the ground. They were, and Jay's like, nope, I hate that. It's terrible. You eating those words now, Jeremy?
Oh, I eat them. He for sure. I can confirm he did say that. And here's my thing. I didn't really have a problem with Rey being a nobody. I wanted to have a reason as to why she's so powerful. So I didn't want her to be connected to a Kenobi. I didn't want her to be a Kenobi. I didn't want her to be the Skywalker. I didn't want her to be a Palpatine. I didn't want that. I wanted reason. I wanted something to make sense as to why she is so powerful. And I did not get that in this film.
I think, and that's the thing, every word you said I do agree with. I mean, I would have liked to see someone, the way I see it, I would have liked her to be connected to someone that we're familiar with at least. Mm-hmm. And it goes back to what you said too. Like you said, literally right before we started recording this is the Skywalker saga. Mm-hmm. There will be more movies after this, but this is still the Skywalker saga. Correct. And we expect to see all these characters from the original trilogy back in it. I would have liked to see her have some kind of familiar parentage because, as far as I know, besides the prequel films, every master, powerful Jedi that we've seen has some unique backstory.
Right.
Not
Or
just,
a backstory.
Or a backstory for that.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm not saying that, okay, just because you were left out on this desert planet doesn't mean you can become so strong.
Right.
But we need a reason for that, though. You can't just say, oh, well, I get the message, I get the theme. You can become something from basically nothing.
Here's the thing, though. The whole thing with like you can become anybody. It doesn't matter who you come from, who's your parents, who's your lineage. That doesn't make a good film. That makes a good message.
It does.
You can put that on a T-shirt.
Right.
Or a promo or a PSA, but you can't make a movie. You can't make a trilogy off.
You can't make a Star Wars film based off that.
Like people were saying in The Force Awakens, and I defended it. I was like, Rey's and Mary Sue. I'm like, give her time. We have 2 other films to explain this.
Right.
We have one more.
Right.
To me, right now, she is a Mary Sue. There is no description on why she is so powerful, except that she's the chosen one. Okay, even Anakin Skywalker was the chosen one, and he had multiple years of training.
Right.
He was a good pilot, yes, but he was pure luck. You think about it, he didn't shoot down many planes. He flew into the droid hangar by accident, and then he also got his ass kicked. Are we allowed to curse on here? I'll go as far as that. He got destroyed by Count Dooku, and there he got his arm chopped off. Right. So it's like all of a sudden in Force Awakens, Rey's fighting Kylo, which I would defend. The only reason why she beat him is because he had that bowcaster shot to the side. Mm-hmm. So and then Finn helped her beat him by cutting him once and getting him weared down. But then so that happens. No more than less than 12 hours later, they fight again, or maybe a couple days later, but it's still a couple days. It's not months or years. And then she's on the island throwing precision-like accuracy with the lightsaber. I'm like, where is this coming from? Luke hasn't even trained her, and all of a sudden she's been able to chop tomatoes out of the sky like a ninja.
Well, I think
it's not consistent.
Right. And not only that, I mean, one of the other biggest things was Snoke. I mean, essentially a throwaway character. I mean, you have The Force Awakens where you have this Emperor, like, just Lord baddie. And you don't even see him throughout the whole movie besides his hologram. And
but you hear of him though.
But you hear of him and you see this and you're like, dude, this is this generation's Emperor. And the Emperor was a very unique character. So everyone was expecting that Snoke to be just as good, if not better, than the Emperor. And in this movie, we actually see him. Looks super weird.
Crippled and decayed.
Right. But when we see the scene when you actually when Kylo goes into the throne room and we see him, it's like, oh, this is the Snoke. So I'm excited to see what happens from this. I mean, what did you think of that?
Here's my problem, and I think a lot of people are not understanding this because this is stuff that goes into the film when it comes to production design and character design and their backdrops. For people to sit there and say that's, I understand from The Force Awakens, a lot of people didn't like Snoke because they felt like he was a rehash of the Emperor. But of course, there's 2 more films. Let's understand who he is. Let's get his backstory. Let's see why he's so different. But you kill him off of this film with no backdrop. We don't understand nothing about him besides he's from the Outer Rim. He's this powerful dark side presence. We do know from the expanded, not the EU, but the expanded universe from the new stuff, the new comics, that he's been a dark presence. He's been watching the Empire and the Rebels fight for years. And even with his design, he has scars all over his face. That's a story right there. And for you to just kill him off and we don't understand why, that is lame to me. And it just feels like Ryan is a fanboy. It feels like Rian Johnson's a fanboy. And he said, you know what, I don't like what JJ did with episode 7. So you know what, I'm gonna take that away and I'm gonna do my own version. So I'm gonna give people like me what they want. Kill Snoke off just cause I don't like him. And make Kylo, which I don't have a problem with you killing off Snoke. If you're gonna kill off Snoke, at least let us know about him.
Right. I will defend the people who are screaming at you right now, saying like they have one more movie. Here's the thing about one movie: you don't give major exposition with one film left in a trilogy. You just don't. It's bad storytelling. If they do this and they bring him back and JJ decides to try and bring him back somehow, I don't want them doing this. Some character saying, "Who are you? Let me tell you my story, young Padawan." No, that's gonna derail the film. Right. And if it's like in the middle of the film or the beginning of the film, if it's in the beginning of the film and they have some creative way to bring him back,
right,
I'm all ears, I'm all eyes to see it. But if it's like in the middle of the film or almost at the very end of the film, it's like the last third act,
right,
and all of a sudden he just starts narrating his backstory. We get like flashbacks of when he was happier with his family or something like that.
Right.
I don't want that. They should have did that in this movie.
Right.
So it's like. There's not enough time. There's not enough time to do it.
The only way that it would make sense for Snoke to be still alive or some way to come back is if we introduce the Knights of Ren, because we don't know where they are.
Or who they are.
Well, we do know who they are. We do know that they are former students of Luke.
Yeah, we don't know their names, what they look like.
Well, that's not really important. I mean,
they probably haven't even casted those people yet, probably.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they haven't casted them. There's going to be people in the mask, most likely. But I still want to know why are they not here?
Yeah.
Why haven't we seen them in this movie? And maybe that can give, credit to Snoke, and maybe that has some kind of connection with Snoke. They can save that for the movie and introduce that in, but I don't know, man. I really don't have anything. I don't know what's going to happen in episode 9. I really don't have any expectations now.
And that's where I was confused at, because like Max, and I don't know about you, Jeremy, but like I know whenever I came out the movie, I was thinking, oh my gosh, it's so good. Yeah, I loved it, But then I'm thinking about it, and I'm like, well, wait a minute. I'm thinking about all the questions that were raised with episode 7, and I'm like, okay, so we get, it was like what you said with the Knights of Ren. We see this flashback of them, or this dream sequence, whatever you really want to call it, and then it's one of those things that I think was forgotten, because the thing is, you go into a Star Wars movie with those questions wanting to be answered, but then like it's like you go in, you're like, you know what, let's just throw it out for a minute, let's enjoy the movie. It's Star Wars, it's gonna be good. We'll go into it. I was disappointed with that, how we weren't introduced with them. And I just, I'm going back to it because I just think it's such a big deal. Because I just feel really like kind of cheated on a little bit, where just Rey's parents were just like that. Right. It seemed like just a gimme, like just, I hate to use the term lazy, because I don't think that...
It is lazy. It's lazy writing.
Yes and no, but then... It makes me wonder, was that the plan the whole time? Was the plan to make Rey's parents absolutely nothing from the beginning?
No, because think about this. I am stealing words from other podcasters who have done this, but it brings up points. The fact that people are like, oh, has it been set up to where they're nobody? No, look back at The Force Awakens, when she's in that little dream sequence, and not dream sequence. At the very beginning, when she finally meets BB-8, and he's like, "What's your name? What are you doing?" Classified. Really? Me too. Big secret. The whole film, they're constantly saying that her name or whatever is a big secret. Her backstory is a big secret. They kept on using the word secret, mystery, classified. You don't set somebody up to be a nobody and make the whole... Maybe it's a red herring, but that's too big of a red herring to constantly do it. If it was a one throwaway line, okay, I understand that. But the fact that they constantly went back to it over and over again...
It was recurring.
Right. It was not set up to be a nobody. I don't know why they decided to go this route. Only for the fact is, you can be anybody, or we don't want the universe, the Star Wars universe, to be who you're related to. But that's always how it's been. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, to play devil's advocate though, with those same reasonings could be used towards why she's a nobody. I mean, classified mystery. Maybe she really does know she comes from no one. But she's still waiting for something to happen within her life. Maybe they will come back.
You think they're spies and they have like?
I mean, it doesn't matter if they're spies. It's just that her parents left her, and maybe she's hoping that one day they do come back for her.
That's why I think, and because we had that already established in episode 7, I really think that moment in episode 8 where Kylo was like, "Look, your parents were no one." That's why I feel like that one had a bit more emotion than. I know it was at that moment where we realized, oh well, wait, she's no one, but it kind of gave it gave emotion to the scene, because then
it did.
You think about it and you're like, well, yeah, you think about episode 7. She was waiting for someone to come back, and she really didn't know until right at this moment he's telling her this.
I laughed.
Yeah,
your parents are no one.
If they were to take out the whole classified arc and just left them waiting, like it's like, I'm waiting for my parents to come back. I know she doesn't know who they are. Like she's like, I'm waiting for them to come back. Take out the classified arc and just say I'm waiting, and that would have gave that scene a lot more in depth, because then she's like, I was waiting for nobody.
Yeah, I mean that was the biggest reason why a lot of people just didn't like it. I mean, they had all these expectations for it that weren't met, and yes, that happens in all movies where you expect something, but this is different.
It's a lot
This
different.
is, I mean, you can maybe get away with it in a, anything other than a AAA film, but this is Star Wars. I mean, you do not play with Star Wars fans in there and the way they want movies to go out.
Yeah, and see, I'm not a Star Wars fan like that. You have the Star Wars fans that want stuff done their way.
Right.
I don't agree with that. I feel like the director, the writer, they should create the story that they want to tell and present it to us. My problem is I want, like you were saying, consistency. I want consistency.
Give me a good story.
Yeah, and I want a good story, and I want stuff to make sense. The scene where Kylo tells her, "Your parents are nobody. There were no one. They left you." I laughed. I thought that was a joke. And I wasn't supposed to laugh during that scene. I'm like, wait, wait. The way he said it too, the way he looked, nobody. Yeah, I thought was he trying to be funny? That was the wrong reaction for me to have in that scene, because that scene that one scene is what many of us were waiting for. We were finally waiting to see, to get answers.
That brings up an excellent point, which brings me into what I want to point. Bring me to the next point I want to say. Scenes that were supposed to feel one way, but I felt completely different. That was one scene for you.
Mm-hmm.
Couple big scenes for me were Leia's resurrection, or whatever the hell that was, and then Luke dying of exhaustion. Those two scenes, and then a couple of humor parts that didn't make sense. But we'll go to that later. First of all, yes, we all know that Leia is Luke's sister. We know that. Mm-hmm. Here's the thing. In the movies, they do not once mention, tell you or show you of her actually using her powers, using the Force, adapting to it. And then all of a sudden, she gets blasted out of a ship and she just Superman's into the cockpit.
Yeah, I was.
There were a few people in my theater who were laughing at that part.
My reaction to that scene was I turned my head because I knew I thought going into this one, I was like, okay, this is going to be the end to...
You thought she was going to die right there.
I did, but I was thinking about it, and I was like, well, wait a minute, how could she possibly come back from this? Mm-hmm. I was thinking about it. She doesn't have Star-Lord's helmet to save her, so how is she going to do it? And she uses the Force, and I kind of turned my head, and I'm like, I guess it's...
I don't mind the moment because I know she does have the Force, because I know the backstory of her. But just give us one line. When she's in the ship already, just say...
You're saying you don't like it because it's never addressed. It just happens.
It is a ex machina. It's a Force ex machina.
Right.
They don't let it... and simply... No, an ex machina is simply a plot point that is not explained. It's just straight out of the blue, here you go, deal with it.
Right.
I wouldn't have minded the scene if someone said... if Poe or somebody said to Finn, because he's the guy who doesn't know anything, considering he's new to everybody... Oh, she learned that from Luke, or Luke taught her a few things. Done. That would have fixed it.
I disagree with that. I don't think that scene need to be explained. I think Poe should already know she's Force sensitive.
He's telling Finn that though.
Finn doesn't need to know that either. Maybe we could have a scene where Finn was like, wait, how does she do that? But since I'm pretty sure that she at some time during Force Awakens he knows that Leia and Luke are related. Mm-hmm. So that doesn't need to be told. I think that's kind of baby feeding you if we had that scene. I will say though, I did like that scene because that's the first time we ever seen Leia do something with her Force powers, and that's always what I wanted to see is Leia actually using her powers. She's the daughter of the chosen one, just like Luke. So she has that mighty Skywalker blood also. I enjoyed that scene. But what I will say is that should have been an opportunity to kill her character off.
I totally agree.
You killed off Akbar.
Yeah.
Kill off Leia.
Akbar could have lived, but we know why Leia needs to die. It's because
unfortunately passed away.
Yeah, she cannot reprise her role in Episode 9. So that would have been a perfect moment, perfect opportunity to kill Leia off right there, and that be it.
Unfortunately, I see what I know this might not be true, but I kind of see where I think they might be going in Episode 9. They're going to try a way to bring her back via CGI somehow, some way. If they do that, though, I want them to bring him back in the slight instance as not General Tarkin from Rogue One, not even Leia from Rogue One. Bring her back via hologram. They can distort her a little bit to make it obviously show that it's not really her. but they can use distortions to make sure that covers it up.
Yeah.
But they have to. She's still alive. If she just goes away and all of a sudden never comes back, there's gonna be like, where is she now? Like, we know where she is. We know where she is, but we know why she's not there. But the story won't make any sense why she's not there.
Right.
So,
I mean, there's plenty of questions. The movie has, its criticisms or whatever. However, a lot of the stuff we were talking about that I guess is negative. We also got to look at the positives of the movie. Mm-hmm. I mean, we're gonna go around now. Jay, we're gonna start with you. If you had to pick just one stellar moment in the movie, whether it be visually, story-wise, what do you think was just the shining moment of this movie?
Oh man, that's a tough one.
I can go if you don't have an answer.
I have an answer, but I
think I know exactly what you're gonna say, aren't you?
I have two answers.
Okay.
I'm gonna cheat. I have two answers.
Go for it.
You're gonna say both my answers now.
One is the Kylo and Rey fight. That's probably the second best lightsaber. It wasn't a lightsaber duel, but it's the second best fight scene I've seen in Star Wars, behind Revenge of the Sith. Well, actually, I'm not going to even say that because the Darth Maul fight was pretty up there too. So maybe it's the third best one. But I did enjoy that lightsaber fight. It wasn't a lightsaber duel, but it was awesome against the Praetorian Guards. And the number one, which I'm pretty sure I'm going to read all y'all minds with pretty much everybody who's listening, was that one scene where...
Do you know her name?
General Hodo.
Okay.
Commander Hodo. She, light speeds into the supremacy, into the Snoke ship. And you have, for one moment, you have this thing of silence and this beautiful black and white picture. You're looking at gamma rays and,
And you see a nice straight line right down the middle.
And that was very beautiful. Those were the top two scenes.
Okay. Max?
The opening fight scene.
Okay.
Regardless of how I feel about one X-Wing taking out an entire dreadnought is one thing. The opening fight scene was well choreographed. It was well shot. It was well paced. I loved it. Just the action overall was great.
Right.
Excluding the casino scene, which is just god awful.
Didn't need to happen.
The action scenes overall were really good. The palace, I'm gonna say palace scenes. Snoke's fights in there, that was nice. Mm-hmm. And then just little snippets of the Force powers being used. The fact that when Snoke comes on the hologram to General Hux, he just throws him on the ground like a rag doll. Or the fact that when Kylo gets a little mouthy at Snoke when you first meet him in person, he throws him across the room with the Force lightning coming out of the ground. That was awesome. Like little snippets like that, which then just gets me pissed off. The fact that they killed Snoke off. I won't go there again. But overall, fight scenes, little uses of the Force, and how that went into the movie. And just the character interactions, I did like the interactions between some characters like Kylo and Rey. Mm-hmm. Those two were strong,
right.
And the Force and chemistry character between them two. So that was mine. Okay. So three things.
Yeah. I think to close out our Star Wars conversation here, I'm gonna go ahead and say I think if I had to pick one, I mean you're lying if you say you didn't like the light speed.
Best shot in the film.
Mm. Best shot in a while that I've seen in any movie. I mean, glorious looking shot. Mm-hmm. I think if I had to pick one scene that's not the same, I really did like when Luke was explaining how the Force works to Rey. The whole...
Oh, yeah. It's not just about lifting rocks.
I love that. I love the little comical...
That was the best humor part in the movie.
The comedy they introduced.
Reach your hand out. Do you
feel it?
I feel it. What's it feel like? It feels like, what are you doing? No, not right. That was the best. That was the best human part of the moment.
But I like it because this is one of the first, it's not one of the first, but it's one of the few moments where we actually get like the Force explained to us.
And not midichlorians.
Exactly. We get it explained. We actually, we all know what it is, but it's this young girl who, and that's the thing, I really think it aids the movie in the sense that this girl really has no idea what she's harnessing. Mm-hmm. Who better to train her than one
of the most powerful Jedi.
Yeah, exactly.
If not the best Jedi.
The visuals, the vision she's having with the whole, the pit, whatever she was thinking of, which is the dark side, how it made you think, okay, is she going to turn because now she's only going to the dark side. But the thing is, I knew she wasn't, for one, because she's young. She doesn't know how to...
She's about Luke's age, whenever he was doing all that.
Yeah, I do agree, but also... Luke's dad was Anakin Skywalker.
Was he
So-
now? I didn't know that. I should
Ray
back and watch those
Apparently
films.
now Ray comes from nothing. So that's
Right.
the scene right there where it's explained to her and actually shown. She's actually seeing what it does, kind of realizing what she's capable of. I really like that scene.
I will like. I wonder if they're gonna put that scene where her hands are like spaced out ridiculously. I wonder if they're gonna put that in the movie, and they actually did.
Oh yeah.
I was like,
When she puts her hands
yeah, I
down.
was like,
oh,
I'm like,
yeah.
oh god, that just feels weird again. But
man.
other than that, closing thoughts, like, because we can sit here and
Right.
talk about every single plot hole. Why doesn't Kylo notice the lightsaber Luke is carrying whenever it blows up in his face 5 minutes before that? Why doesn't Commander Hodo tell Poe about the mission, even though if she does, it can save a lot more lives? Why are the Porgs in it so damn much, even though they're cute as hell? The Porgs are adorable.
Okay, yeah. I mean,
They're better than Ewoks. Oh, the scene where Chewbacca's eating the Porg.
Awesome.
I love that.
He says
And
awesome.
he doesn't I love it in that scene how it's just like you think, oh, he's gonna stop eating, and no, he's
Yeah.
just like, get away! I'm trying to eat. I'm hungry.
I mean, you kill it, you might as well finish it.
Right. I mean,
But yeah, we
away.
can honestly sit here and talk about every single plot hole and misconception we can, but we'll be here all day.
We will.
But we have other things to worry about. So closing thoughts, Tyler, you're the host. Let's go ahead and start with you.
I think it's a good Star Wars movie. I really, it offers a fair amount of stunning visuals. It's a story. I'm gonna say that
It is a story.
It's
Yes,
a
it has
story.
a beginning, middle, end.
It's a story. Not my favorite. I feel that I understand where the disappointment has come into play. I totally understand that. But just because of that, I'm not going to say it's a horrible movie. I like what it brought to the table. I think we got some more where it lacks in the explanations. I feel like we got some pretty cool, a few introductions going in there. I didn't really care for the introduction of Benicio del Toro's character. I feel that was
Useless. Didn't do anything.
throwaway.
That stutter was ridiculous.
But closing arguments, we didn't even mention Phasma, which, oh my gosh,
useless character again.
I hate she's a useless character.
But she's bulletproof though.
Exactly. She's in the final act of the movie, and that's it. But anyway, I'm getting off topic. I'm getting on topic.
See,
I feel like
all day.
it's a good movie. Is it the best movie like everyone's saying, making it out to be? Of course not. There are plenty of other Star Wars movies that makes this sets it apart.
People might. No, I'll talk about whatever. It's my turn. Go ahead.
But I mean, my final consensus is that it's a good movie, not the best Star Wars movie, but it offers a good bit.
All right. Pretty much sharing the same sentiments as you, Tyler. This was a great Star Wars film, but it is definitely not the best Star Wars film.
Right.
So it has some more work to do. Currently, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I have no more expectations for Episode 9. This is the one film that I really wanted to see out of the whole trilogy. Because usually the middle arc is usually the darkest. And it's usually darkest.
And we have Empire to thank for that, though.
Yeah.
Right.
And maybe that's a bad thing. Maybe,
The expectations are way too high now because of Empire.
Exactly. So now we have... I just hope JJ brings it. I just really hope he brings it and he ends this trilogy off with a bang. I hope we get some answers to some of the problems that that we had in this film. But great film. I will be getting it on Blu-ray.
Me too, yes.
And,
Just to complete the collection at least.
Right.
But I will not ignore its problems.
Right.
I will say this, and probably a lot of Star Wars fans will disagree with me. Jay, you might actually agree with me on this point. As far as enjoyment goes, I enjoyed Revenge of the Sith a hell of a lot more than this one.
I agree.
Revenge of the Sith has at least some parts to it that were great, more parts that were bad, like more parts. But overall, yes, it is I think it's an okay film. Looking at some of these critics that are saying it's better than Empire, it's the best Star Wars film, best sci-fi film ever made. Are you really that naive to sell your soul out just to get a headline? Because I was watching the red carpet premiere, or at least as much that we could watch, and people at the end, I saw the reactions best ever made. I'm like, no, wait, who is holding a gun to your head to say this, make you say these things? But it's certainly not the worst. I put Phantom Menace or Attack of the Clones on it way before the worst.
Right.
But nowhere near is it the worst. It's not the best though. It's right in the middle. It's
Okay.
right in the middle. It's below the first two prequels. It's below Rogue One. I mean, it's Rogue
Both.
One. But Rogue
Yeah.
One is like if I had to put it like I can put Rogue One either way. I don't really know how I feel about that one yet. I have to go back and look at it. But it's not better than The Force Awakens. It's not better than The New Hope. It's not better than Return of the Jedi. It's not better than Empire by any means. It's just not that great.
Right.
It's not, but it's okay. It's an okay film.
That makes sense. Makes sense. So shifting away from Lucasfilm, we're gonna move to not really. We're sticking with Disney. It's weird. Sticking with Disney, the Disney Fox the Disney Fox deal, which has been in talks for the last few weeks. The last few weeks have been filled with, is it gonna happen? Is it gonna go through? I mean, I kind of knew it was gonna go through. I gave it like a 20% chance of falling out.
I'm 100% that when we first heard about it a couple of weeks back, it was already confirmed then.
Yeah, when it was announced, I was like, you know what, it's gonna go through. I mean, because I can't see them going through all
Something
this
like
work.
this does not just get leaked.
Right, like I said,
unless they want it to be leaked.
Yeah, so basically, Disney recently purchased. If you guys are unfamiliar with what happened, basically to give you the short version, Disney basically bought a few of the Fox properties, including X-Men, Fantastic Four, which
The original Star Wars films.
right? And basically with that, Disney, who is the owner of Marvel Studios, basically has rights now, finally, to the X-Men, Fantastic Four.
It's actually almost every single Marvel character now.
We're close to every Marvel
The
character.
only things you don't have are the Spider-Man people.
Right, and then
And I'm 100% that might come down the line someday.
that'll be a few more years, I believe.
I'm not saying I'm pretty sure it's gonna be after Tom Holland's reign as Spider-Man.
Right.
Maybe
But-
the next Spider-Man after that, but it's gonna be a while. But it's gonna happen. I think.
Now, before we get into it, I really want to know what you guys think of this deal. Do you like it? Are you not in favor of it? Which I think we're all in favor of it. I feel like it's nothing but a good thing. So I'm going to start around the circle. Jay, what do you think?
I love it. And I hope it goes through. You know, it still has some more. It has to go through some legal, stuff because the government apparently is getting involved to make sure Disney is not monopolizing on the film studios, and a lot of the Screen Actors Guild is worried about diversity with jobs because all the films are going to be produced under one major studio now. So hopefully, there's a way we can get through that. But man, I'm glad X-Men is back into to Marvel / Disney.
Right.
I'm glad Fantastic Four is back. I do not like the Fox Star Wars films. I mean, some of them are good. Hugh Jackman is great. I mean, the X-Men.
Star Wars films.
I'm sorry, I said Star Wars. I'm sorry.
Like, wait, Fox making Star Wars
talking
films
about-
now?
I'm talking about Star Wars so much, but I do not like the X-Men films as much as I got older. I've started to dislike them even more. When the first X-Men came out, because I've been a big X-Men fan since I was a kid. Read the comics, read X-Force, all of that stuff. I accepted it because that was the first live action thing we got. But it's just now, it's just this one's having plot holes and storylines messed up too, and it just stuff doesn't make sense, and I don't like what Bryan Singer has done with the franchise. So you know what you got to do? You got to bring it home. So the real people who know what they're doing, they're going to get it right and give us the X-Men and the Fantastic Four. They're going to give it to us how it should be done. So I'm glad it's back home.
Two things. For business, this is terrible. It's going to take away too many jobs. It's going to make it to where we might not even get as many films a year. Fan-wise, this is great. There's no reason why you cannot like this deal. It's like I said, Jeremy said, it's going to hopefully bring the Fantastic Four to making a good movie. That's a hopefully. I mean, we had 3 and they've all been trash. But as far as the Fox movies go, I don't mind Days of Future Past. It was a nice blend of the old and new, but it was a send off to those characters, the Ian McKellen and Sir Patrick Stewart's characters, after almost 2 decades of playing them.
Right.
Logan was one of my favorite movies of this year.
100% agree.
But one thing I hope they don't is I know they probably will because it won't make any sense, but I really don't hope they don't recast the younger Magneto and Professor X.
No.
Yeah.
Michael Fassbender and
They are the
James
younger
McAvoy,
versions.
they need to stay.
But unfortunately, they're gonna recast because this makes no sense unless they introduce the multiverse.
Right.
They have not done that yet. They might introduce the multiverse and bring in Deadpool, the Fantastic Four, which are in the the Fantastic Four. Are they in the X-Men universe? Yes or no? Did they say?
No.
They say they said they weren't.
From the Fox Studios?
Yeah.
No.
Okay, so that actually was canon anyway, so that's done. Mm-hmm. So, but Deadpool and X-Men are together, so they might introduce the multiverse, or just what they might do, be safe and just recast the entire thing and start over, which I don't want them to do because there's like these two characters are perfectly cast,
Right?
Mm-hmm. And then they're not recasting Ryan Reynolds.
There's no way.
He will take that suit home and wear it and lock himself in it before they let him do that. But yeah, it brings up so many amazing. Galactus can probably be our villain after Thanos is done.
Yeah, I've actually read a really interesting little piece where they were saying the theory was basically saying how Galactus could be like the main villain of Phase 4. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, that'd be pretty cool, because after Phase 3, Thanos' story is gonna begin and end, and then it's gonna be interesting. But no, I do feel look, I understand people's concerns, and I'm glad you mentioned the amount of films we're gonna be putting out a year. Because a friend of mine where I work was addressing this. He was basically saying, okay, so that means we're going to be getting a few like regular Marvel movies, like your Black Panthers, your Avengers. Then you're going to be getting, your X-Men Marvel Studios movies. Then you're going to be getting your Disney movies. Then you're going to be getting your Pixar movies. And you're going to be getting at least one Star Wars film. Mm-hmm. All under one company.
It's going to be a lot.
But and that's the thing. It is Disney. And I don't agree with everything they do. Streaming service, just throwing that out there. But they do make. I mean, look what they did with Star Wars. They took it, ran with it in Force Awakens, made it great.
Coco,
I still haven't seen that.
I see that too.
Heard it was really, really good. Now that's really my concern. They're gonna get. I mean, that's the thing. Of course, they're gonna be giving more jobs to this because there's more demand for it. Mm-hmm. Not everyone will be getting their job. Who the people who fall out.
The article that the article I read, said at the beginning 10,000 jobs could be lost.
Right.
So that's in the beginning. Once they finally have everything finalized and know where they're going, who's going to be running what, because there's no way Kathleen Kennedy, CEO of Disney, is going to be running every single.
No.
Kathleen Kennedy is not the CEO of Disney. She's Lucasfilm. She's.
Sorry.
Bob
Iger. There's no way Bob Iger is gonna foresee every single thing. Right. They're gonna do exactly what they do with Marvel. They're gonna give one. They're gonna hire a bunch of Kevin Feige's to do all these different sub things. Like, okay, Kevin Feige will keep on doing Marvel along with now Fox, and not along with now Deadpool, X-Men, and the Fantastic Four are gonna be into that.
Right.
Then they're gonna probably get somebody to do all the other films like that. So, yes, the beginning the jobs will be lost, but they'll be hiring quadruple that at the end.
Right. That's really only my concern. I mean, that's the thing. It seems it's just crazy to think. And I mean, to me, just trying to fathom that one company, if you think about it, it's all under one company's name, can put out, let's think about it. So far for next year, we have
Black Panther, and the Avengers. Black
Panther, Avengers Infinity War, and then we have Ant-Man and the Wasp. Those are just Marvel movies. Then we have the Han Solo movie coming out. We have A Wrinkle in Time coming out next year. We have at least...
We have Incredibles 2.
Incredibles 2 next year. That's already 6. Plus whatever else they come up with. Let's add another 2 to that just to say they're going to be putting out maybe...
So 9.
That's
8.
And that's just the minimum. Right. The minimum amount of movies that one company puts out a year. It's kind of like...
And then you add X-Men films in
there.
Yeah,
exactly.
And then 4 films in there. And Deadpool films in there.
Right. Because I know in 2019, we're getting Avengers 4, Captain Marvel, stuff like that. I mean, and then Episode 9, of course. The plans are kind of... It's a very... I put my faith in Disney for this. If I had to put it in any company's hands to make this happen, it's them. They know how to handle this bulk demand for whatever it is, not just movies. So I have faith in them. I know a lot of people were voicing their concerns about, oh my gosh, there's going to be too many movies. We're not going to be getting good movies. We're just going to be getting a lot. I'm not worried about it.
Right. I think I just want to say this. I think Disney's going to have all of these studios because that's what Disney bought all these Fox studios. So all these studios are going to be under Disney now. That doesn't mean all we're going to see is superhero movies and stuff. Right. It's going to be other movies too.
Yeah.
It's just going to be Disney backing those studios now. So I mean, there's a chance that a lot of people are going to lose their jobs, but at the same time, a lot of people will be getting more jobs. It's just these studios will still be active. They'll be subsidiaries, however you pronounce the word, under Disney now.
Right.
Disney just has a bunch of film studios now,
and I mentioned they have all their streaming services. They have all TV shows. They have American Dad. They have Family Guy. They have Bob's Burgers. They have any other show that I haven't mentioned. Right. And then they mentioned all their TV shows. Did they confirm or deny about Daredevil and Punisher? Are they all done after this?
Well, no, they're not done. I think the only confirmation we got on them is that they won't be in the the movie universe, the cinematic universe.
But they're still continuing them.
Yes.
Okay.
I think basically with Disney here's the thing. Disney, let's just go ahead and say what it is. Disney is definitely trying to monopolize. Disney has always done stuff like this.
They're going to get to the line and not cross it.
Right.
Try to cross it, but they will not cross it.
But at the same time, this is a win for Fox too because the main point that Disney was trying to do, they were trying to get these characters back. Mm-hmm. And Fox probably said, "Look, you want these characters back?
Give me money.
You got to take all of this stuff too.
Mm-hmm.
You got to take all this stuff too." And this thing sold for $52 billion.
That's chump change though to Disney.
It probably is, but I'm saying to a company like Fox,
that's a lot.
It looks like a lot of negotiations had taken place. Hey, you want these characters? This is what you're going to have to do. You got to buy these too.
Right. Fox isn't Green Hat Productions.
It's nice he said that though. People are saying oh, they're going to lose their jobs. Mm-hmm. They're going to be well compensated. Mm-hmm. They're probably bought off. Yes, we're taking your job. Here's $30,000. Go away.
Oh, they don't get $30,000.
No, they ain't getting $30,000. Here's $3,000. Get out of here.
Here's a sum of money.
Here's $5.
No, I'm saying I hope they get more than $30,000.
Oh,
$30,000. That's just a car. That's I hope they get more.
Here's $100,000 and a gift card to Dairy Queen. Go home. It's like
right.
So,
but to conclude, I think we can all agree. In the deals, just general idea. We're all for it. Mm. It does have a few, I guess you want to call them cons. Not really cons, just
eyebrow raisers.
Yeah, just concerns really. I mean, but the thing is, I have faith in what this is going to do. I feel like we're going to continue to get great movies. We're going to continue to get great
movies.
Entertainment.
We just got Last Jedi.
2017 is almost over. 2018, looking forward to Avengers. That's all I'm going to say. Avengers.
I don't know. I'm more looking forward to 2019. Good old Godzilla 2.
Oh man.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's a one-sided coin right there. Okay. So no, I'm looking forward to it. But guys, we do have an exciting last topic to talk about. This is strictly. I mean, we voice our opinion a lot on movies, but we're gonna move into the video game side, and with some nominations already already solidified for the Game Awards. I decided, we're not going to talk about that much. We're going to talk about what we think should be Game of the Year, or what we think should be Game of the Year worthy.
Because our opinion is all that matters.
Right, exactly. So, we're going to start off with Jeremy. What, if you had to pick at least two games you would nominate for Game of the Year, what would they be and why?
Unfortunately, I don't have a second game. I think there's only
that's
one
fine.
game.
Yeah, two is a long shot. But that's the reason I'm saying that because I have two. So right. I got an idea. So what you got?
I think the Game of the Year I'm gonna have to give it to is and it's crazy because I haven't played it. I haven't had a bunch of time to finish it. I'm still working on it now, but I'm gonna have to give it to Assassin's Creed Origins.
My man. That
is
I agree. I mean, what are some main points that you've seen that you just that make it stand out?
The main points is I'm glad the combat system has changed. You have with Syndicate and a little bit of Unity, they tried to adopt the Arkham style,
right?
Counter and fight back. I did like it. It did work to a certain extent, but Origins has a more simplified. I mean, I'm not going to say simplified to where it's weak, but it's more simplified to where I don't have to I'm not pressing anything. It doesn't feel like I'm just pressing anything. Yeah, like I'm making calculated attacks now. You know, I'm countering when need to be. I can use my arrows. I can use my other stuff. I like the whole hub system not being there in front of your face.
Right.
So it's just the game looks very beautiful. The closest thing I can compare it to is Black Flag. I mean, one of the reasons I love Black Flag so much is because it's just the scenery. You know, being on a ship, seeing the water and the waves. Now you're kind of seeing the same thing, but you're in sand now, and
right.
pyramids and stuff like that.
I do have to say, I mean, I'm going to talk about it more when I get to my pick, which may not be Assassin's Creed. You know what I mean? I will say though, when you're on your horse and you go over a sand dune and you just see a pyramid far in the distance, you see you can even see, and what I love about it, you can see just the heat in the air.
Right.
The detail that went into that, the thought about how, okay, we're going to do this right. I love that.
Right.
The detail, like you said, I really do think the graphics stand out in the game.
Right. I do. One of the biggest features I like too is how you can change from day to night. You can wait
That's
it out.
very nice. I love that.
I like how they adopted that from Fallout a little bit. I enjoy that. And I just like the side quests, the variety of side quests too. I mean, I like how it has an RPG feel. And I'm an RPG fan at heart.
Right.
You know, Final Fantasy 15 was one of my favorite games of last year, and to see them, you know, Assassin's Creed adopt a more RPG type style in the game, I think it worked, and I just think it needs to. Hopefully, they can improve on that and make it more innovative in the next game. But yeah, I think the leveling system is great. I think the storyline, which I still haven't finished, but I'm still playing, so I think it's very enticing. Yeah, I can't wait. I'm excited to see where they go. I'm glad they took some time off, Ubisoft, and worked on it. So
Ubisoft has been killing it these last few years.
They have.
Or this last year.
Yeah.
Well, I know, before I get into you, Max, I know that it was a joke at E3, but the Mario and Rabbids game that they teamed up with Nintendo for, it actually was good. Really? It was turn-based, RTS.
Like an XCOM style game.
Right. And then I'm looking and I'm like, it came out. I wonder how the sales were. And I'm looking like all the Nintendo fanboys got it and they love it. I'm like, a Rabbids game? That's good? What is this? But yeah, Ubisoft's been killing it. All right, Max.
I got 4 games.
You got 4. We'll make it quick. I know one.
But yeah, one of them is already Assassin's Creed.
I know. Well, I know 2.
Okay, I got 5 games then. Assassin's Creed, Middle-earth: Shadow of War.
Called it.
I would probably put Assassin's Creed above Middle-earth: Shadow of War strictly for the fact that Middle-earth: Shadow of War was a little bit too repetitive and a little bit too copy and paste from its predecessor.
I do have a question. I haven't gotten the chance to play Shadow of War.
Okay.
Didn't they throw everything about Lord of the Rings, the story, out
the
the
canon
window?
is busted. There is no canon anymore when it comes to that movie. When it comes to that game.
Actually, it's funny that you say. I'm glad you brought that up because I asked them about that. I just recently purchased Shadow of War. I haven't played it yet, so that's why I couldn't nominate it as my game of the year. So I'll be playing it soon. But that was one of the things I asked Max. I said I heard that the canon is not. This game is not canon anymore. And the first one was supposed to be, right? The first one is canon. So I'm like, okay, so what's going on? Why is it changed? But I don't know.
Because
the Lord of the Rings guy.
I know we're not reviewing this game, but I just want to say to put it to rest.
Yeah.
The storyline is busted, but it does try its hardest to stay within the boundaries. But it doesn't
go off the wall.
Towards the 4th act, it goes over the wall. But in the first 3, it's okay.
Yeah.
I said okay. Assassin's Creed, Middle-earth: Shadow of War, Yakuza 0.
Ooh.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a good
I haven't
pick.
played it.
Yeah,
I
good pick.
know about it.
I thought that was going to be a bit of like a not a joke, but like a bit of a side swipe. But no,
it was
very good. Oh yeah, I have it here on my phone. The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild.
Ooh, that was a good one. That's a really good one.
Being a huge Legend of Zelda fan myself, Ocarina of Time, still one of my favorite games. Just turned 19. I feel very old right now. Even though I'm older than the game, I still feel very old because that was one of the first. It was one of the first games I ever played.
It's a good pick though. I do where you're coming from.
Horizon Zero Dawn.
Didn't come out this year though. Right?
Yeah, it did.
It came out February.
Really?
February. Odd release, but made for one of the.
But yeah, if I had to pick out of all these, I have to pick. Gotta go Assassin's Creed. Because the fact that of what it's done, my girlfriend was like, you should get it. I'm like, I'm not getting that game. It sucks. I got the last 2 were Syndicate was okay. It was a nice change.
Syndicate was okay.
But I was still coming off of Unity. No.
Yeah.
Like 5 minutes of it, I was just like, I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm gonna throw this in the trash. And I had a digital copy, so take that.
Couldn't.
No.
Couldn't.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah.
I called Xbox. Can I return this? You're the 5th person today. No.
Yeah.
So yeah, Assassin's Creed. I was heavily
Creed.
surprised. I actually enjoy Assassin's Creed a lot more than Middle-earth Shadow War, strictly for the fact that there's so much replayability.
Right. There is, and that's what I love.
That's mine. But like I said, some honorable mentions are Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild, Yakuza 0, Horizon Zero Dawn, and Middle-earth Shadow War.
So before I get into my picks,
Do not say Call of Duty.
Oh God,
I will
no.
go over there and
no,
slap you.
No, there will be I have a podcast lined up just on that, and I want to talk about it. I'm not going to give my standing on it yet, but anyway, before we go into this, I'm glad all of y'all said games like Breath of the Wild, Shadow of War, Assassin's Creed, Horizon Zero Dawn. These are all great games, but they all have one thing in common. There's a big single player aspect to these games, and not all of these have a multiplayer. I don't think any of the ones we listed have a multiplayer.
Shadow of War has a multiplayer-esque.
Right.
It's not really multiplayer.
I don't know if so before I get into mine, I'll make this quick too. I wanted to explain to you guys, I don't know if I've told you guys this before. I know we've known each other for a little bit, but I know
you're going with this.
But
The reason you're gonna say.
The reason I wanted to do this and not go off what the Game Awards deem Game of the Year worthy, because I want to say this. I'm glad we all said these picks because they have a single player aspect to them and they're accessible to everyone.
Yes.
I have never been a supporter of nominating a game for Game of the Year and it being online only, for it being multiplayer only. I was upset that Overwatch won Game of the Year.
Yeah.
And the reason I say that, to give an explanation for it, is because if you have a multiplayer only game that's being nominated for Game of the Year, you have a very limited audience nominating it.
Exactly.
Not everyone has online. Not everyone who owns a PS4, Xbox, or whatever else has access to online.
Right.
Because it's freaking $10 a month, $60 a year to pay online. Not everyone has internet.
It's not just that. It's just people might not want to play on.
They might not want to. Yeah, exactly.
And then
so
after the net neutrality thing goes away. We're not talking about that.
So
No, we're not going
we
there.
got it in.
We got it. Yeah.
So
we
now
got
I'm
it.
looking at the Game Awards and PUBG, PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds, is nominated for Game of the Year, and that upsets me because the thing is, there is a category for best online game. So what's the point of nominating a multiplayer only game for Game of the Year when it has its own category?
Yes.
With that being said, I just wanted to throw that out there because I wanted to get, oh my God.
Sorry, I just showed Tyler a picture of the behind the scenes look of Superman with a mustache because Henry Cavill couldn't shave it because of his other movie and how it horrified me to look at with the CGI mustache. Ugh.
With that being said, a great way to introduce my top picks. My top three, actually. I changed from two to three. Going from bottom to top, I would have to say Horizon Zero Dawn offered great graphics, unique gameplay. I love the customization in that game. I like the story in that game. Really mysterious, kind of eerie looking post-apocalyptic RPG. Loved it. Breath of the Wild, I feel like if you don't say this, you're just crazy because I think that game, it really is good. I've had the chance to play it for a good 2 hours. Got a feel for it. I really was never a big Zelda fan growing up, but I'm playing this and just I think what sets this game apart from really like any game of this year and the last few years is that you can determine when and where you get to do stuff.
Right.
Even in games like Fallout, you have to follow a linear story to get to the end of the game.
Right.
Yeah.
In Breath of the Wild, you can end the game in 5 minutes. You pick it up, you pick up a little stick off the thing, and you can go fight Ganon right then and there. You'll probably lose.
Yeah.
But
you have that option.
But you have the option. I love games where you make your own journey.
Right.
You feel like a decision maker. You feel like you are immersed in this world, this giant world, mind you, too. A huge open world to explore. There's stuff to find. There's collectibles to discover. There's weapons to collect. All this kind of stuff. That's why I think it's a big game of the year contender. And finally, we all said it, Assassin's Creed Origins.
Yes.
If you guys haven't checked it out already, I know I will link it in the description. Max made a great review on Assassin's Creed. I will actually have a link to my video as well. Go ahead and check it out if you guys haven't already. If you're looking for a Christmas present for your friend, But what made this game so great? That's the combat, reinvent combat. I feel like that needed to be changed.
Right.
You know, I was a fan. I kind of I just went along with the Syndicate style of combat that we got, and I liked, you know, the way Assassin's Creed 4 did it with, you know, putting more emphasis on hand-to-hand combat and not just, you know, assassinating, being stealthy.
Right.
Because I've always felt that. I mean, like I said before, I've been a fan since 3. Started with 3, went back to play 2, Brotherhood Revelations, and then kind of worked my way from there.
Right.
I really wasn't. I understood the tone of the game back then about how you have to be stealth, you have to be quiet. It's Assassin's Creed, but then it evolved, and it's like, well, that gets boring. You know,
exactly.
you're not gonna go through the whole game unless you're trying to dishonor, you know, the game Dishonored and stealth the whole mission. You're gonna get caught by people. So
Right.
if you look from 2 to Origins, the hand-to-hand combat just improved greatly, and this game perfected it. I think the really only cons to this game is that I did say it in my review, which is why I was basically one shy of a perfect in my eyes. The reason I said it is because I really wish that in future games, I wish they would make it to where instead of just earning solid like outfits, I want there to be a system where you can maybe earn a torso. You can earn certain. You can mix up. You can mix up what you wear.
Right.
I mean, with weapons, you can only do so much. I just feel that if you could, you know, don't do what Call of Duty did and stick to era-specific camouflage. I feel like if you could maybe put a little call sign on your sword or on your bow, maybe make the bow unique.
The thing with the weapons are, like, that was one of my flaws were the fact that when you got that certain bow or certain sword, it made the game way too easy.
Well, I agree, and it also doesn't help that you can just constantly upgrade it.
Yeah.
Oh,
You can-
yeah. Because like the 2 bows that I use, because you can use 2 bows in this game, or you can use 2 bows and you use 2 melee weapons. The 2 bows that I used through and through when I was actually trying, when I wasn't trying, and it's just whatever, were the light bow and the hunter bow. The light bow is essentially
That's
the assault.
the rapid fire.
The light bow is essentially the assault rifle, and the hunter bow is your sniper rifle. You don't need anything else. If they get really close, use a light bow. If they're far away, just precision their head off with the hunter bow. And especially depending on what you get with perks, the bow might have, you can just constantly one shot somebody from down range.
Right.
So it just made the AI is a little stupid at times. Like they run away from you, like they attack you one-on-one.
Yeah, I feel like the AI, like the main AI, like the gimme enemies are always AI, but dude, you come up with
The bosses are really good though. Yes.
Oh, I hate the phalanx.
Yeah.
They are the.
I kill.
You can be.
Yeah.
I love it, but I hate it at the same time. You can be the same level as one of those bounty hunters, and they will still just destroy you.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Look, I love hate it, and it makes for a good
similar.
challenge.
It's similar to the Black Flag's monster ships you can fight in the 4 corners of the map.
Yeah.
Those are a little easier though because you can just take out the sails and then get behind them and they won't move.
Right.
So, but there are no sails when it comes to phalanxes. Right. Take out the legs. I don't know.
But no, I do like where it's coming from. I like, you know, the fact that you can have a shield. I find
cool.
that, you know,
you can actually block with it. It's not just there for aesthetic purposes.
Yeah, and it doesn't block everything.
No.
You know, you have to actually you know, that's what I like about it. The combat, it's not just luck and button mashing anymore. You have to think about it. It's almost like Dark Souls combat. You can't just go in fighting and swinging your sword everywhere in Dark Souls.
Certain things require certain things.
Right. You have to, for some, you have to just be more defensive, and some you have to be more offensive.
Right.
I just love how you can choose between a spear, a sword, a sickle sword, dual blades, a
a giant
warhammer,
spear or a giant baton, and you can just bash people's heads in. This game is bloody, by the way.
It is.
I love how this is turned into an Assassin's Creed review. Like,
well, if the game we all picked in common. I think one of the last things I wanted to address is funny because you mentioned that. I know in the beginning when I started playing, before you actually get into like the open world, when you're in that main location, you're fighting these people, and like, dude, you kill a couple people and you turn your character around and see the front, and just red everywhere, and it's like, well, okay. All right, cool. This game, I shouldn't be playing this game. Mom better not walk in on me playing it. But yeah, it's a game of the year contender.
Yeah.
You know, and I feel like people are like, oh, it's Assassin's Creed. It's not going to win game of the year. How could it? We'll play it.
Wait. I'm changing my vote. Fortnite.
And anyway, that's going to be the end of the podcast, guys. But yeah, so guys, if you guys have been playing games lately, you know, or this past year. What do you think is Game of the Year worthy? Let us know in the comments. We would love to get you guys' opinion on that, just to hear what you guys are thinking about down there. But I think that's gonna do it for us, guys. Any last words?
I will say, if you like The Last Jedi or you disliked it, let us know also in the comments.
Let us know what you thought of Last Jedi.
I'm actually curious to see if people feel like whether you hate it or you're a bandwagon fan, saying it's the greatest Star Wars film because it's a Star Wars film. Then other than that, I just want to know exactly what you think.
Let us know what you guys think. What do you guys think of the Fox Disney deal? Let us know what you think about that. And finally, what do you guys think? You know, like I said before, what do you guys think is the best game of this year? Let us know in the comments below. But that's going to be all for us today, guys. I just wanted to go ahead and thread out there that go ahead and check out Max's website. He's got all kind of awesome reviews out there. Jeremy, along with me, are collaborators on his website. We do a bunch of stuff together like this. We plan to do it a few more times, I hope. It was really, really fun. Let us know what you guys thought. But yeah, go ahead and check out his website for movie reviews, all kind of reviews of all types, games, whatever it may be. Just, you know, in front articles as well. I know, Max, you recently did an article on why the DC universe is failing.
Yes, and Jeremy doesn't really agree 100% with that.
Yeah.
But hey, what's the content of it? You gotta go check it out. His website will be in the description below. But guys, that's gonna do it for us, for Tyler, Jeremy, and Max. We will all see you in the next video. And until then, peace out.
Bye-bye.
See ya.